I look very 80s today. Hey, I'm Ashley Rosa, and today I'm talking about how I read books for 30 days. So this is the beginning of my video, but at this point in time, I have not started the challenge. I am starting the challenge tonight reading books. So the reason I want to do this is mostly because I am not a big reader whatsoever. It takes me so long to get through a book, to even read books for assignments for a class. And I know that is not the best thing at all. And I think reading is very important, and there have been books that I've read that I've just fallen in love with. They're so good, and I just really want to get into reading more. So I decided, why not do a 30-day challenge where I read for 15 to 30 minutes every single day. Because I read on a website that reading 15 minutes is good a day, reading 30 minutes is great a day. So some of the things I'm going to follow in this challenge is basically reading every day for 30 days. And when I'm going to do that is going to be at night before I go to bed, because I've found that anytime I read before I go to bed, it's much easier for me to relax and be able to let everything go and go to sleep. So the first book I'm gonna read, which I'm almost done with, but I'm not quite there yet, is this book called Acting in Film by Michael Caine. You can kind of see my ring light in the reflection of it. And I'm about halfway through it. I have a little blue sticky note right there. So I'm gonna start off this challenge by finishing reading this book. So the next book I'm gonna be reading is 13 Reasons Why. And I've seen the show completely through, but I have always heard different opinions of the book is better, or it's different, and blah blah blah. Read the book before you watch the show and stuff like that. I did the opposite, and I tend to do that a lot. The next book I'm going to read is Adultolescence by Gabby Hanna, which I really want to get her new book, Dandelion. She just released it not too long ago. The next book is called Our Town, which is a play, so it's not really a book, but it is in book format. So I'm going to read it because I've heard it's really good, and I've heard plenty of things on it, so I really want to read it. The next book is called This Modern Love. It's by Will Derbyshire. Is that how you say his name? Something like that. So those are all the books that I'm gonna try to read for this whole month. Hopefully I can get through them really quickly, because I'm gonna try to read them definitely every night, but then also during the day if I have some free time and just want to read. And then I'll give you a review. The reason I'm starting with this one is because this is a rental and I have to return it to the school, so I gotta finish it fast. But I shall let you know how this one goes in a few days when I finish it. Yay! Okay, so I just finished this book. It was really good. I originally had to read it for a class, and I didn't read it at all the whole semester, but then I finally read it at the end of the semester because we have our final exam, and some of the questions may be coming from that book. For anyone who is interested in film at all, I think this is a very good book. I highly recommend it because it goes into a lot of in-depth detail of what it's like to be an actor in film, and he talks about his experiences and all the films that he's done. It is a little outdated, and he is British, so there's some slang that's in there that I had to look up. I still think it was a really good book and had a lot of good information about the actor-director relationship and what it means to be there and the difference between acting and theater, and it was really good, so I read it. I mean, I had to read it, but it was good, so I'm glad I read it. The next book I'm gonna read is Adultolescence by Gabby Hanna, which you can see I kind of already started because I forgot my acting and film book in the car. Oops. So I'm gonna let you know how it goes when I finish reading it. So I just finished this book by Gabby Hanna, Adultolescence. This is my sticky note tab that I use to keep track of where I am in the pages, and I really liked this book a lot. It's a poetry book, and the back cover talks about how she uses internet slang, and she is talking about in her poetry how she feels like a kid, an adult, all at the same time. And I actually have a bunch of sticky notes at the top because those poems that I sticky noted I either really liked or I really related to. So I highly recommend this book just because it's very relatable to, I would say, teens and young adults of today's age. And some of the poems are just random poems that were kind of funny, and some of the poems really got me thinking, and some of the poems I was yes, that's exactly how I feel. There are two poems in here. One was called Anxiety and the other one was called Depression, and it was literally kind of how she felt when anxiety and depression took over, which I talked about in one of my videos, anxiety and depression, a while back. I highly recommend it whether you know Gabby Hanna as a YouTuber or not, because I really liked it. I think it's very relatable. And now it's time for my next book. My next book to read is Our Town, which is a play by Thornton Wilder, and I've heard about it for so long and no one's recommended it to me, but as a former theater person, I feel it is best that I should read Our Town. So this is my next book. I'll see you when I'm done with it. Okay, so I just finished this book, Our Town, 2 days ago, and it was not my favorite. Like, this book was highly recommended and I heard a lot of great things about it and everything, but like reading it to get through all of like the stage directions and everything, that was already confusing enough. And this is a really short read. It was only 90 pages and it's a play, so it's a really short read. But it took me like 4 or 5 days to read it because it was just really hard to get into. I'm sure if I saw the play in person, my opinion would change, but just reading it, it was not my favorite. I'm not going to say whether I recommend it or not recommend it. I would say definitely read it if you're a theater person, because I feel like a lot of theater people talk about it and might as well read it just so you know what it's about. But the next book I'm about to read, or I've already started reading, is called This Modern Love, and it is a bunch of letters and stuff that this person, Will Derbyshire, the person who wrote this book, he's a YouTuber. He asked all of his fans on Twitter and asked to receive emails and stuff of like love letters. Also, it has been 14 days since I started my little reading challenge, so I've been reading every day for 14 days and have already gotten through like 2.5 books. Like letters to your crushes, letters about how your relationship ended, and everything. So I'm gonna read this book and then let you know how it goes. Okay, so I just finished reading this book, This Modern Love. It was really good. It was a collection of like essays and letters that like people wrote to their spouses, their exes, their crushes, and it was really raw and real. I really enjoyed it. There's a few things I tabbed because some of the stuff I like really related to when it comes to the aspects of love and crushes and heartache and stuff like that. But now I'm going to be reading 13 Reasons Why. I've seen the whole series on Netflix, but I've never read the book, so I guess I'm doing it backwards. I'm gonna do that. And I've already started reading it. I've gotten through the first 2 chapters and it's really good. I can definitely see the differences between the show and the book, but I can also very much see the similarities. So let's see how it ends, shall we? So I made it to the end of the challenge. I read every single day for 30 days. And this book, 13 Reasons Why, she a thick one, but I read almost 5 books. And the reason I say almost is because I have 2 chapters left in this book. But in the span of a month, I read almost 5 books, which is more than I have read in a really long time. Like, I can't even finish one book of the Bible. You think I could finish one of these books? Like in the book of the Bible, I'm reading through Philippians right now and it's like 4 chapters and I haven't finished it and it's been months. But I actually really enjoyed this challenge and I feel like I've learned a lot. Like, if you saw my goals for this year and how I wanted to live by accomplishment, I feel like I accomplished a lot by reading a lot within the month of December 2020. Like, I read 5 books. That may not be a lot to you guys, but that's a lot to me. My favorite book, I think, is a toss-up between Adultolescence and 13 Reasons Why. Like, reading this book, I can see, like, what they decided to take from this book, what they chose to do in the show. Like, not to spoil anything or anything if you haven't read the book and you live under a rock and you haven't even seen the show, but the show, Clay takes like weeks at a time to finish the tapes of Hannah Baker, and in the book, he's actually listening to all of them in one night. And in the show, Clay has a blue bike, but in the book, Hannah has a blue bike. So I can see the little differences, but I like them both. The hardest part of this challenge was if I was really tired one night and had to wake up early, it was like I had to stay up an extra 20-30 minutes just to read. And it was difficult because I actually really enjoyed reading, but it was like I was so tired and wanted to go to sleep that there were some nights that I wanted to read longer, but I could only bring myself to reading like 15 minutes. This was honestly a really good challenge. I highly suggest if you're not a reader, challenge yourself to read like every day consistently, because it's not that hard, and I'm sure any age you are, you can find a book that is at your level. And I think I'm gonna keep doing it like throughout the school year, like actually consistently reading every night. I actually really enjoy reading more than I thought I would. But this is the end of my video. I read for 30 days. It was a fun time. I would highly recommend it. Comment down below if you read any of these books, or what is the book that you're probably most likely to read out of the books that I've read. Or you can comment down below what's your favorite book in general that I probably didn't mention at all in this video. And be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're not already. And follow me on all my social media at the Ashley Rosa, except for Snapchat, which is at FlyRosa0410. And again, I'm Ashley Rosa, and thank you so much for watching my video. Bye! This is my reading for every day.